Hello. I want to talk about what is going to happen tomorrow. If you haven't heard, this is a heads up, but it's on all the major media outlets. They're talking about tomorrow's test. It's a national emergency alert test. So October 4th at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, along with the FCC, which is the Federal Communications Commission, will send notifications to cell phones as well as radios and TVs to test the National Wireless Emergency Alert System and ensure the system, including the public's familiarity with it, is ready for a real crisis. So this is the federal government. And based on what happened recently in Hawaii, I would think that the trust is just wavering. Now, this article is from Engadget, and they say prepare for a jarring noise. And I hadn't been paying attention to it in the recent days. I heard about it. A friend of mine had given me a heads up a while back about this. They weren't sure if they were going to conduct this test tomorrow on the 4th or maybe on the 11th. So just the uncertainty of that. But the articles that I looked up are saying that this is scheduled for tomorrow. Now, jarring is, I had to look it up just to see what is jarring. It's a shaking. It's a disturbance, and it's conflictful, clashing, disagreeable, incongruous, and harsh. Irritating, did I say? And discordant. Now, discordant is a word that also came up when I looked up the new virus, which is called the Eris virus. That's the new one that they want to scare everybody with. If you've noticed out in public, everybody is masked up again, and you can feel the fear if you are tuned in as such. So discordant, this is something that it brings up a lot of images, right? And what is this that's going on in these days? Because a lot of people are beginning to feel that something is way off. And I know that we parted ways with a lot of people in 2020 when we saw that things were off, and we tried to warn people not to do certain things, not to allow things to be put in their bodies. And we were called conspiracy theorists and fell out with people over it. Some people have repented for such. They have changed their minds about taking things into their bodies that are not tested and not proven, and the people pushing them are not trustworthy. So it leads us to what is going on. Now, you can put your tinfoil hat on. A lot of people are talking about this in a deeper, more esoteric way based on where are you spiritually. Now, a lot of us, we are now moving and shifting our understanding of the historical timelines, which has helped our faith to know where we are. And we're just not, being tossed adrift and not understanding the history and the timeline. So for those that have come to the conclusion, you're coming to the conclusion as I am, that we are now in the short season of Satan, which is described in Revelations 20. I've talked about this already. This is what I believe, okay? And based on that belief and my understanding that Satan is the prince of the power of the air. So when you think of the air, it can, mean things for people like the heavens, the air, the airwaves, technology. A lot of this technology that we are even communicating on, this technology is believed to be from fallen angel Nephilim technology. A lot of the things that we deal with is believed to be based on what those fallen angels began to teach mankind, where we went outside of our boundaries for the things that were lawful. So, based on that, and based on how conflicting things are and deceptive, this is a time to be prayerful, not fearful, because I was listening to a brother named New Breed. I like his content, and he was talking about this. Somebody, I believe in the comments, said, if you are fearful at this time, you need to repent. And that makes a lot of sense. If you're fearful, what are you fearful of if you are a believer and you trust God? There should be no fear. Now, Satan's people should be fearful. They should absolutely be fearful, because this is a short season. And if anybody has taken oaths to align themselves with Lucifer and the fallen angels that rebelled, the 1/3, the ones that took that oath. So oaths, we'll get into that at another time. They took an oath that was the very first oath, and insurrection, rebellion. Satan's rebellion was the absolute first insurrection. Now, those other angels, I'm not sure about the timelines and things like that, but we read the book of Enoch, and we saw where those angels, like Azazel, they rebelled, and they took an oath to bind themselves together to go outside of their boundaries. So, Satan's people will be affected by these frequencies and sounds that are coming through the technology. Now, the children of the Most High God don't have to fear and will be protected from these things, because they are in their last stages, like their swan dance, and they're desperate, because to be on the losing side, Lucifer has all kinds of promises. Satan, the Satans, Lucifer, and the things that this nation is engaging in, from the top leadership on down. You look at the lawlessness in the cities right now, and you can't think that things are normal. When have they been normal? What is normal? But in this short season, as 2020 opened up and a lot of the veils came off of our eyes, we're able to see what's been rampant all around us. Now it's out in the open. The things cannot be hidden and held in secret. So it takes the power away from Satan and his children. It takes the power away, because they can't operate in secret, in darkness. So that's why we saw an uptick in propaganda and gaslighting. Censorship is because they're losing so badly. They've lost control of the narrative. And whatever this thing that they're jarring the people to, I believe, to incite more hatred and sound and vibration, we know from music and the hertz and the things that they changed about the music. You look at the music industry right now, they've run out of stars. Their stars are beginning to fade. They're not going to be able to break new stars at the quality that they had. When you think about the quality of the music from the 70s and the 80s and possibly some of the 90s. But we saw degradation, and it just infested the industries of entertainment like a cancer. So the corruption has come through our culture in such a way that now it's just unbelievable just to look at some of the things that are going on. And the music industry and the Hollywood writers' strike and all this stuff, none of this is sustainable. We might possibly watch big names like P. Diddy possibly do a perp walk. Things are closing in on a person like him. And there's a lot of people like that, gatekeepers that have done evil wickedness. And we're watching it all unwind. And the concerts lately, I just wrote some of the concerts lately that have been taking place. You got your Renaissance thing. You have Beyonce coming out on these horses of the apocalypse. And you have Travis Scott still up to his shenanigans, which is interesting. They're both from, isn't it Houston? Where you have NASA. It's a lot of interesting things. So you can't tell some people anything about Beyonce, and it's right there in your face. Her husband and the connections to Marina Abramovic, which is a witch from Serbia, who has done some very disturbing art installations. We learned about her in 2016, some of us. Very disturbing things. Marina Abramovic. So she has just recently been named an ambassador to Ukraine. And it's unreal how just every day is just another crazy thing going on. So it's hard to not be convinced that this is absolutely the short season of Satan. And the warfare that they use that comes through the devices, electricity and things, the spirit world, we could get into that at another time. But yeah, we're using fallen angel tech. And these are frequency wars. We are battling spiritual wars, not flesh and blood. And the children of the Most High God are hated. And it's time to repent. It's time for the children of the Most High God. If you went astray, you made oaths, and you pledged yourself to Greek organizations. You look up the Greek culture. Look up the degeneracy of the Greek culture and its influence on our present day. Like, it's a mix of Babylonian, Roman. It's so degenerate at this point. The culture it has metastasized the degeneracy. And it is discordant. It's discordant. You feel it now. If you've come back after your time in the world, if you were a prodigal like I have been, and you rebelled against the Most High God, you repented and you came back, there's no way you'd want to go back into the world. And just the obvious, it's jarring to us. It vexes the spirit to look at just the blatant rebellion against the Most High God, the lawlessness. So if people start to hear the voice of the Most High God speaking through other people, He will speak through people. And you have a call that tells you it's time to come out from among her. Come out of this beast and be set apart and repent. It is open for any of us to repent. I mean, a lot of people are going to these concerts and they're spending a lot of money in spite of this economy. I mean, the Renaissance tour, the prices, and Madonna, I'm not sure if she's back on tour because she fell sick. And Travis Scott, like I said, weird things happening at his concerts. And there was another young lady who had a concert where, if I can show a clip, I'll do it, where the crowd was hit with, I don't know what. You can call it an energy, whatever, something. And they all just went this direction. They were hit with something, and it was like watching dominoes. They just all started to fall. Did you see that? Like I said, I'm going to show a clip if I can.
This might be the craziest thing I have ever seen. So at Lana Del Rey's concert, a wave of energy or whatever the heck happened jolted everyone in the crowd back. Just watch the raw footage.
But tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists definitely are being vindicated every day. And a lot of them are believing that certain people have nanoparticles and technology inside their bodies because fear and all of the things that happened to force people. And a lot of people that we knew that we parted ways with, they're not the same. And now that they are just getting more and more of this stuff in their bodies, and I think it's something to it. Heck, they wouldn't even let the lady, what was her name? Carrie Hilson was talking about 5G stuff back in 2020. She had to retract her statement. But when I was in New York working in 2020, when everybody was in their homes scared, they were putting in all of the 5G all over New York City. All over. I mean, working like little busy worker bees. So it's something to it. And the fact that Carrie Hilson had to retract her statement, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's something to it. And if these people who refuse to repent, they refuse to take fear and put it away, but they want to engage and just go deeper into fearfulness, they basically are lost. If they're family members and friends that want to continue down this road, which is a wide road to destruction. Narrow is the way that only a few will find. But the breadcrumbs are there. But some people want to be in fear and rebellion. And it's possibly something where they don't want to repent for something, pride. But they will mock those that question these things and look into them. They'll mock people, but they will mock people at their own peril, because God will vindicate his children and his messengers. He will vindicate. So, let's see. I just had a few things I wanted to share. I want to end off with reading Psalm 91. It's a good one to be reminded of. And you plead that for your life and the life of your loved ones, protection, and you believe these words, and you do not engage in fear, no matter what they're doing. Their test of the emergency I don't know. New Breed said, go out into nature tomorrow and just don't take technology with you. Just spend a day outside, do something nice, but definitely not fearfulness. So I'll read Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That I hope blesses all of us, and that you have a beautiful day tomorrow. Might have to stay off of social media. Just take a washout day and just reconnect with something different, right? Just go outside maybe and do some things outdoors. I think that's a good idea. If you have other good ideas, share them with all of us. I appreciate it, and I'll see you soon and be talking to you about something else going on. All right, in this short season of Satan, the walls are closing in. They are the ones that should fear.